I'm Social Free State. I'm a victim of the current EU mass migrant rape crisis. My case is still open, so I have to remain anonymous. And I'm talking about my concerns regarding political correctness, how it enables horrific crimes, and how it also silences victims of crimes. I want to just cover briefly devolution. It's really important to me, being a Welsh woman, and the comparison of how hard it has been for these Celtic countries to become devolved, and in comparison to Sharia law, how easily that can be set up. Basically, the UK is called the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and Great Britain consists of Scotland, England and Wales. Devolution basically is where certain legislative and executive powers are transferred from Westminster over to the UK entities of Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland, or basically, the Celtic states or nations. It's a little bit different to America because the majority of the power is retained at state level, or Westminster, and that makes it a unitary state, whereas in America the power is retained at sub-state level, so that makes it a federal state. Now, a bit about the history. Devolution came in prominence with the Irish Home Rule at the end of the 19th century, but there has been a fight for independence from Scotland since the 1700s, so that they can make their own laws and what have you. And since the 1500s, Wales has been treated in legal terms as part of England, and so there's been an ongoing struggle for independence or for more devolution from their part as well. And it wasn't until the 1990s that devolution did take place for the nations, for the Celtic nations. So obviously it's been an ongoing battle over centuries to just be able to provide their own laws within their own countries. And it's worth considering that the UK never had a written constitution, and the European Convention of Human Rights is basically our written constitution, and that comes from EU law, and it runs supreme above our own laws. So, having considered the centuries-long fight for devolution and the ability to make laws in their own land, in their own Celtic lands, consider this, that someone who has brown skin can go over into Wales, who, have only just become devolved since the fight since 1500s, and just say, well, I want to practice Sharia law because I'm a Muslim. And, obviously you'd imagine a Welsh person saying, well, no, that's not on. We've been struggling for our own laws for centuries now. And that person can say, well, I'm brown. I think you're being racist. I think you're discriminating against me because of religion. I'm going to take you to the European courts and I'm going to win. And of course they will win. So they can get their laws just like that, at a click of a fingers, basically. And they can get whatever they want because they can say, you're being racist, I want this. You're being discriminatory, I want this. I want my Sharia law and you're being racist. And then the Celts have had this ongoing centuries worth of battle just to become devolved nations. I'm Welsh, so I suppose you'd call me a Celt as well. And it really winds me up when I think about these sorts of elements to the Human Rights Act. And the plain ability to just provide these people who have just, a small different element to ourselves, like, oh, well, I have brown skin, so therefore I get that right. It shows you the supremacy of Sharia in the UK, doesn't it? It's an example of how they can just bypass all of this, these negotiations which we've had to deal with over the years, what my ancestors have had to deal with and, have fought for, and it just really winds me up. And luckily, there aren't many Muslims who live in these Celtic nations. Celts aren't really known for being particularly welcoming. They're quite cold people, and I suggest you keep on being cold and unwelcoming until we've got Brexit. As for Scotland, I don't really understand why they want to stay in the European Union, knowing that someone of a different race can just say, well, screw the fact that you've fought since the 1700s for your own law and your own parliament. We want Sharia law and we're going to have it. I think that's one of the things which absolutely stumps me with Scotland, and I don't really understand as a fellow Celt. But anyway, they have their reasons. I'm sure it makes sense. But if you've noticed, Wales did vote to leave the European Union, and I'm obviously Welsh, have lots of family who are Welsh and have lots of friends who are Welsh. They are pretty much on the same opinion of me. European law is supreme. That's scary. We still haven't achieved what we're setting out to achieve, and it's been centuries, and we're not happy to provide that courtesy to someone just because they have a different colour skin, because that just runs supremacy, basically. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know that some of you aren't actually from the UK, so that's why I thought that I'd give a brief description of what devolution is and a bit of a history of it. And hopefully I've explained it well enough, and you can give me your opinions on just how political correctness has gone crazy, in the sense that someone can have their laws just because of the colour of their skin. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So please leave a comment, and please like my video, and also follow me on Twitter, because I update my website quite frequently. Thank you very much.